Based on the diagram, we've cut all the pieces to size, created all the lap joints in the proper locations, and inset the steel washers where they belong in the dowel rod supports. The pieces that we'll be dry fitting now will be the vertical support, the two dowel rod holders, and the foot. For me, this is the best part of building a project. The initial dry fit really shows you how it's going to look when the project is completed. I just flipped over the assembly because I want to show you how the cross supports fit in place. You simply go here, one on the other side. They are a good fit. Down here to support the base on both sides. But you have to keep in mind that I have this on its side right now. Typically, these cross supports will be horizontal. And again, this is the vertical support here. But that's how it's all going to go together. And one more vertical assembly will go across here, which will dry fit next. Although I like to minimize pencil marks in these projects, these pieces fit so well together, I'm going to mark them to make sure they go back in the same locations when I do the final assembly. Just mark it AA, BB, and CC. Very light. I didn't press hard at all with the pencil, so they'll rub off just fine with rubbing alcohol. And now we can dry fit the other side. All right, we're ready for final assembly. I've prepared my work surface with a little bit of plastic wrap down the center line, which is where the glue joints are going to be. I also have a square here just to make sure that my horizontal pieces are 90 degrees with the vertical upright. I'll be using wood glue on the joints, a damp brush to apply the glue and spread it out evenly. I like to keep my wood glue brush slightly dampened on a piece of damp paper towel. It helps prevent the wood glue brush from drying out. I also have a piece of dry paper towel to clean up any kind of messes that might happen. Once the joints are glued and assembled, I'll then use my brad nailer to secure them in place with 5/8" brad nails. Of course, I ran samples on some scrap pieces of wood just to make sure that the brad nails won't go all the way through, and that I have the air pressure in my air compressor set correctly for the soft pine. We don't want to go pounding the brad nails all the way through the wood so they come out the other end. I think we'll start by gluing and fastening the two horizontal dowel supports to the vertical upright. As you may recall, I marked it with an A and a B. So we'll make sure we have the correct piece for the correct marked location in the proper orientation. B and B, A and A. So let's go ahead and take care of this joint first. I'm going to apply glue to both faces here and a little bit to the cheeks of the joints. I'll take the brush and we'll spread it around a little bit here. Okay, that should be good. working quickly. Just to make sure that we have a good seat, I'm going to tap it. Rubber mallet. Now this is the inside face, so that's where I'm going to have the nail holes. And that should be good. The nails did not poke through, so now we can work on the top one. Glue to the face and to the cheek. Very nice. After I have this all assembled, I'm considering finishing it with some Danish oil. It'll help seal the wood. My basement does get kind of damp in the springtime, and it'll give it a nice color. Okay, now for the foot. It's at this point when you really hope that you haven't made any mistakes. I think we're okay. There's really no need to use this because it just doesn't work. Just make sure that the pieces are good and tight. Clean up any squeeze out. And that looks very good. Okay, one done. Now we're ready to start gluing in the cross supports. The cross supports will hold the two uprights together, keep everything good and stable. I'm using a couple of quick clamps on each of the feet, here and over here, just as a little bit of a helper to keep the verticals upright. I'm using some green Velcro strapping to hold the rack together during assembly. This is something that you can find at your local gardening center for tying plants up to stakes, but it has a lot of uses in the workshop too. To make sure that I have everything square and lined up, after I apply the glue to the joints of the lower cross pieces, I'll take my tape measure and measure across the base of the feet diagonally and make sure that they measure 39 1/4. If they both measure 39 1/4, that means that the feet are perfectly square. Let's apply some glue. Perfect. I can now take off the Velcro. I'll follow the exact same procedure for the other two support clamps on the top. Well, after all that work, the parts storage rack is a total success. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I did a lot of sanding on it, including hand sanding all the sharp edges with 120 grit sandpaper. After I was all done sanding it and cleaning off the dust, I put a few coats of Danish oil finish on it to give it a really nice looking golden color. I really like how the magnets hold the dowels in place, and everything moves and works as I hoped it would. I'll give you a closer look now. I'm holding the camera by hand now, so please excuse the shakiness of the image. I just want to give you a really good view of how it turned out. As you can see, there's 4 dowels and knobs along the top row and 4 along the bottom row. Each knob has 2 magnets inside it that are attracted to the metal washer. And if I gently push the knob in, you can see how quickly it's attracted to the metal washer. I also added some green felt washers to the back of the knob just to kind of soften it a little bit so it wouldn't slam into the metal washer too hard. I think that works very well. The end of each dowel has a tapered point. The tapered point will make it easier to align into the hole that I've also tapered. So as I align the rod with the hole, it's just easier for everything to line up. You can see it has a very nice finish. There's also casters on the bottom that allow me to rotate it. Everything has been glued and nailed in place with small brads. And as I mentioned before, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. Now, I'm not too sure how many uses this storage rack will have, but since I'll be working on this oscilloscope for quite a while, I really think I'll get plenty of use out of the rack. Well, there you have it. That's the part storage rack that I first designed in Google SketchUp and built down in my workshop. I'm sure it'll work perfectly for what I have in mind for it. It's now time to start digging deeper into the oscilloscope. If you'd like to learn more about what I have in mind for this channel, please watch my introduction video. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Also, if you think you'll find this series of videos interesting, please subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a new video. We'll see you soon.